like my faction accessories? Do they make me look handsome or too handsome?
They never questioned, never doubted, their zeal never lagged.
Detected.
Health benefits available at your request.
Not friendly life form detected.
You have my thanks and my hammer.
Forever vigilant.
Taking punitive action.
There, a misbegotten fool soon to fall.
Forever vigilant. Separate quarry found.
You have my thanks.
Target reacquired.
I require medical assistance.
Allocating explosive. Appreciate protectorate craftsmanship. Cut above the edge. Checking for cover. I repudiate all vast commercialists. Recommencing hustle.
Briskly moving to cover.
Reloading. Protectorate craft. Seeking cover.
Hostiles detected ahead. Recommended course of action. Violence.
Glory found.
To rightly appreciate
Appreciate protectorate craftsmanship. Say, puppet now would do fountain.
I despise asking for aid, and yet I must.
Potential combatant.
Emergency protocols ready.
Seeking
Detected.
ammunition depleted.
promoting teammate health.
Rosemary, my injuries are not superficial.
Hastening to cover.
Hostile.
Replenishing my firearm.
Nelson unit advises heal yourself.
Payback will be swift and terrible.
I'm not ready. Please try again later.
What's your purpose here?
Target reattack.
You have my thanks and my hammer. So is not devoted to the idea of training future arbiters. I wish I could say I was surprised. That elevator over there goes to the Supreme Arbiter's old office. I hope the technicians have kept it in working order. I believe what we need is on that terminal. I'll see if I can find my way in. terminal's locked, which is no surprise. See if you can find some method to bypass its passcode. Did you hear that? I think something may have unlocked. I think this may unlock the terminal. But the toggle mechanism appears compromised. I shall hold it. You attempt to gain access to the machine. You must finish it.
Consul Thoreau, I'm sure you're surprised to be receiving this message, and thus I can assume you already know my intent. Even considering aligning myself against the Sovereign is like sticking my hand in boiling oil. Yet my dead charges spur me forward. 10 scores of Arcadia's finest, at least 10 scores, died in defense of Golden Ridge. And does the region lie in our control? No. We fled like sprats, all at Varric's behest. I shall lower myself to work with you, Consul. I will help you uphold your plan to... Hold... What in blazes? How long have you been standing there? What did you hear?
I cannot believe what I heard. I cannot. Actually, it wasn't. Perhaps at first, until I discerned her true intentions. My mentor hated the Consul and was deeply devoted to the Sovereign. She'd never speak thus, unless she was trying to lure the Consul into a trap.
Error. Arbiter's logic is circuitous and flawed. Mental health assessment recommended.
What I'm proposing is eminently plausible. It may be beyond you to see her machinations, but it's obvious to me that this was merely an intricate play. It's all that makes sense. Don't twist in me. Just because the situation looks dire doesn't mean... Wait, do you hear that?
Arbiter Rao, I finally got you. Submit quietly to the Protectorate's justice for your manifold transgressions.
Are you insane? Who are you? And on whose authority do you claim to judge me?
My name is Junior Arbiter Mayhall, and I operate on Arbiter Mandate, as you did once. Now, no questions. This is already going to be difficult enough.
This is not the time for your deranged jests.
Well, that's ridiculous. My interest in Arbiter Rao is purely professional.
Enough. This has been an unpleasant day, and my patience is gone. Your accusations are baseless, and accosting a higher-ranked arbiter is grounds for arbitration.
They're far from baseless. You stand accused of abandoning your post, of infiltrating Protectorate facilities with opaque aims, and of hampering the Protectorate war effort. How dare you? I may be a junior arbiter, but I'm not going to let someone that is, a high-ranking arbiter get away with desertion. I heard that Arbiter Rao had left his post without leave some time ago, and chose to track him down myself. Following the trail has not been a simple matter, but I did not let that deter me. What? Do you mistake me for one of the corporate barbarians? I'm here to do what's right for the Protectorate, and what's right is Arbiter Rao submitting. There's no discussion to be had with criminals. I needed to see firsthand that Arbiter Rao had abandoned his station. He has, and must meet my judgment.
These accusations of yours are slander. If you believe false bravado shall save you from my wrath, you're sorely mistaken. At Oculus, and again at the Vox, you showed me that the law may be interpreted. Clemency can be granted where before it would be unthinkable. Here my sense of duty clamors to be answered. But as much as it surprises me to admit it, I think you're correct. To this recruit, I've diverged from the path of righteousness. Slaying her for sincerely trying to do what is right would be a farce of justice. I would not. But I know the reality of swaying an arbiter from their chosen path. It's likely this situation may devolve into violence regardless.
What is this insanity? I would never imagine an Arbiter balking from their chosen course. I had hoped Arbiter Rao would come to his senses, but obviously to no avail. I may not wish to judge him. I may not understand what has come over him. It is of no consequence. His crimes against the Protectorate are all that matters.
He was simply doing his duty, just as you or I must every day. Killing him would have been wrong, even though attempting to arrest me was a criminal act.
That's even worse than I thought. You chose not to do your duty, and expect telling me so would soften my decision to judge you?
The Supreme Arbiter taught me to follow my own sense of justice. And I have. Use your mind. Think about what I did. What you intend to do. Is this moral? Is this right?
What of it? Someone has to stop him.
Ironic. You came here to judge me for much the same reason I have, as you so claim, deserted. I chose to investigate the Supreme Arbiter's death on my own. You chose to investigate my departure on your own. You seek to judge me for the very crime you are guilty of.
But that's impossible. I refuse to believe we both could be guilty if we were simply following what we were taught.
We don't know that for certain, but to an onlooker, without our knowledge, it could seem that way. And such presumed traitorousness would be very confusing.
Even the Supreme Arbiter has struggled with this? That doesn't seem possible. But I suppose there's no way to ask her now. I shall trust your words. Consider my hand stayed. I can see that judging Tristan would only rob the Protectorate of another of its servants. It seems I must reflect on this matter.
It would appear we're in agreement. Neither of us shall raise a hand against the other. I'm Pleased.
Disengaging weapon systems.
So, what course of action do we take now?
It's important for an Arbiter to use their forebrain. Next time you encounter something as strange as a loyal Arbiter diverging from the path of righteousness, investigate. You may find more questions than answers. But deciphering them and interpreting justice as best we can is how we might serve Arcadia.
Uphold justice in my way. I'll attempt to remember that, Arbiter Rao. Thank you.
Glory to the Protectorate, Junior Arbiter. Make me proud. I'm pleased we were able to resolve that altercation peaceably. Robbing Arcadia of an enthusiastic recruit would have given me little joy. You know, I'd even venture to say she reminded me just a little of myself as a lad. All this excitement did not make me forget the confession on the Supreme Arbiter's terminal. I have to bring it to Virgil. Together, we can discover exactly what transpired. Agreed. I'm not sure of his whereabouts since last we encountered him. I'll send him a message. With luck, we'll hear from him before long.
So many dead. The place is falling apart. I found
The grand plan is the predetermined order to the entire universe. We can predict it down to a decimal point.
Oh, I didn't expect us to wander into the scene of a murder, but somehow I'm not entirely surprised. Anomalous events have a way of spreading, multiplying. We should find a way inside. There might be clues to what happened, and where Anais's research is now. They should have been sealed in that room to focus on their studies uninterrupted. No one in or out. I'd suspect the missing anchorite knows something, at least. We should ask her. Might be some signs in there of where she went. The terminal at Winter's Grasp said Anais' work was sent here. There might be signs of that, or where the missing anchorite got off to. There may be more to learn here. We should keep looking. I've had a chance to look around. You seem like you've done a thorough sweep. We should discuss what we've uncovered. A disputation of current order methodology focuses mainly on our presiding bishop, but saves ample room for the laureate council and previous regime as well. I believe I got the gist by efficiently skimming. The general concern is that the order has lost its way. My old department is repeatedly mentioned in a favorable light. Anais' work is regarded highly. Poor thing. Blunt force trauma to the occipital lobe, I believe. Possible signs of an altercation. Might have been an accident. Might not have been. Hard to say with just a superficial glance. At the very least, her cloister-mate Anchor's Brunn has some explaining to do. I saw that. I believe it was Anchor's Chow's diary. Spoke about regular visits by an exemplar Southworth who requested access to Anais' work. Chow seemed worried they were conspiring about something. That they'd mentioned an old order research station. I don't know what happened to Anchor's Chow, but leaving a body behind is suspicious, and the disputation reads like a call to arms for any fringe thinkers in the Order. Oh, we're past that, I'm afraid. The research is out there. We need a way to keep anyone from taking it up further in the future. If we go in guns blazing from here, it will only continue. We need a plan to annihilate the idea. This is the exact sort of work we did at the Department of Preemptive Causal Redirection. Diverting problematic events. We learned how to best respond once things begin to spread. We developed tactics at the Department of Preemptive Causal Redirection to minimize unforeseeable consequences. We can discuss once we see the situation on the ground. Yes, time to seek out Anchorus Brunn. That old research facility seems the most likely spot to look next. I know the coordinates on Eden, placed by the name of Point Obviation.
Commander, I have news. I finally heard back from Virgil. His message was suitably vague. I suspect he fears the Consul's eyes scanning his message, but I believe it to refer to the Arbiter training facility located on Paradise Island. Parts of the location can only be accessed by Arbiters. He likely did so to avoid the Consul's spies. There's a certain hominess to it, inasmuch as we have any particular home. Bringing our findings to Virgil will hopefully allow us to deduce something from all that we found. I only hope it dispels some of the muddiness we've encountered so far. Further complications would be most disagreeable.
Any and all manner of perambulation. Don't know who you all are, but unexpected guests are categorically unwelcome here. How'd you even find this place? Maybe I should just shoot you and glean details from your logs.
Ah, Exemplar, if I may. Surely you recognize such a notable member of our cohort, Marisol Delgado. The end point?
I can't recall if I ended whoever came up with that name. Surely hope so.
You were head causality intercessor of the Department of Preemptive Causal Redirection, right up till the end, correct?
More or less.
Well, what a fortuitous alignment of low probability events this is. Our efforts here are based on your former department. You should confer with Ancrus Brunn straight away.
We actually sought to find you and others of your program, Intercessor Delgado. A serendipitous event, you arriving. Assuming you'll vouchsafe for your colleagues, you may all proceed. You'll find Wilhelmina up the lift, 4th floor.
Welcome to Point Obviation.
Ancrus Brunn is continuing Anais' research from Winter's Grass. I'm sure of it. Best play along for now, until we can ascertain the best course of action.
I'm with Marisol. Given the security here, if we don't tread lightly, leaving peacefully might not be an option later.
No, is that Marisol?
The endpoint herself. I thought she was a myth.
Let's be on our best behavior. Don't even breathe. This experiment seems a mite controversial, dangerous even, both in a physical and mathematical sense.
The Anchoress knows what she's doing.
Of course. Forgive me. I will look to math as a source of comfort rather than anxiety.
Look, everyone! It's the endpoint. Come to join us, I take it.
I do have a unique interest in what you all are doing here.
longtime vocal exponent of your work, Intercessor Delgado.
Doubt the Anchoress will walk away from the research lightly. May require some aggressive convincing.
Oh, who's this? Oh, yes, I remember you. We met earlier at the site of my former seclusion. I've heard much of your exploits since. I understand you allowed Seer Wiley to go free, yes? Once was a time I would have made that exact same decision. And as for you, I've been informed that you're Marisol Delgado. I've read your file. An impressive body of work, though often quite mortiferously inclined.
Less so over time. There were too many pesky repercussions, I came to find.
Yes, well, to what do we owe the pleasure? Are you familiar with our goals? Come to join up, perhaps, or should I say re-enlist? Isn't it, though? So much more room to think. No one else leaving their sweaty breeches next to the comestibles nook. It's a refurbished test chamber, in fact. The facility was originally utilized in experiments by the Department of Preemptive Causal Redirection, so it's highly appropriate for the vital work we're doing here. You saw the disputation, though. Tell me, what did you think? You read it, yes? A truly unfortunate accident. I had posted my disputation and stated my intention to leave. We argued heatedly. Objects were thrown. She stumbled and fell badly. We try to honor her loss. Such tragedy only underlines the importance of our endeavors here. Each day the equation remains unsolved, countless more tragedies occur. We must succeed at the soonest possible haste. Surely you're aware of the myriad errors of our current presiding bishop and previous regime. One of whom shut down the division that operated here, the other squandered it. Our sect aims to end human suffering, sooner than later. We've taken great inspiration from your former department, from their methods and their science. To solve the universal equation in our lifetime requires bold action, clever calculation, and assiduous work. Yes, we have Grace, that is Exemplar Southworth, to thank for that. Her visits to the anchor hold were quite thought-provoking, as was the research she showed me from Sia Bujold. Bujold's thinking was unconventional, ahead of her time. Why, in fact, she's here with us now today, overseeing an experiment that proves her researcher's theories.
Really? Seer Bujold is here, at present, in this facility? The one we're presently standing in?
Not long at all. We reached out to her on Cloister. She agreed to join us immediately. If you thought her work before was captivating, wait until you hear the experiment she's overseeing now. The intent is to represent the building blocks of the universe within a test chamber, then extrapolate data revealing the universal equation from the micro-universe that forms.
Sounds like it could change everything, one might say.
Why, you should go see for yourself. As former colleagues, I'm sure you'd like to reacquaint. Go on. I'll call down to let her know you're coming. Yes, she's monitoring the experiment. I'll have elevator access unlocked so you can join her. Do please stay in the observation area, though. The work is quite delicate. We'll speak further after you check Overseer Bougeaud's work and the experiment concludes. Oh, so exciting.
How much longer do you predict preparations will take?
Almost ready. Perfect timing for my former colleague to peer review my work. I'll press them to verify my settings. Thereupon, we will begin. Head Intercessor Delgado, what an opportune time for you to appear. At the perfect moment to assist our experiment.
What in the endless void are you?
Shh. Comms off, but others are near. I need your aid before this ridiculous affair careens into disaster. Can I rely on you this time? Or will you already intend on scurrying away again? I came to derail this line of inquiry in such a discommodious way that no one would ever consider trying it again. For all the aforementioned reasons of it likely causing, or at least queuing up and leading to, the end of all things. You chose to leave me behind, again. So when they came calling, I thought it an opportunity to sort it all myself. Yet, admittedly, at this moment, I could use your assistance.
This shouldn't be your burden. It's on me.
You don't get to decide that, or adjudicate, or coolly comment in a steely growl. Not falling for that a 10th time. Help, or stay out of my way. The test involves 4 stations. Each represents one of the fundamental building blocks of the universe. Zeranium gas, macro-ivs, nucleons, N-rays. All the usual stuff. That test chamber is where all are meant to mix. To simulate a mini-universe I can apply my theories to, pull data from, and deduce the universal equation in a reduced time frame. We know what happens if that's successful. So I need you to muck with each station's settings, then initiate the experiment. All you need to do is adjust each station's settings slightly. Things will cascade from there. Remember, subtlety is required.
Yes, if we alter the experiment input data in a less than delicate fashion, Brun will notice, I assure you.
The guards on the 2nd floor won't appreciate visitors, so avoid getting spotted. Here's a maintenance key. Head down the vent. It's only the fate of the galaxy riding on it, so perhaps try to be careful.
Something wrong back there? Hello?
May all solutions precede problems. Indelibly eradicate algorithmic dissonance.
Remember how I mentioned to be careful? Everything's ruined. There's no coming back. I'll make my way
Do
out.
try to limit further damage. Scopes for combatant analysis. You've suffered extensive damage, Commander.
Something wrong back there? Hello?
Hard to get into this sleep cycle. Constant permutations upsetting everyone's natural rhythms.
I'm no tenured archivist, but that's dangerously unstable. Oh well.
Relation get us to sequence summation. It's been production from Library Baba Archie. Minus two. these perceived problems. Path to ascendancy is non-linear, so it says in a good textbook.
If you're done, evaluating...
Did it work? Did it work? See, was it a success? What happened?
Hold the applause just yet. I need to run the numbers. I'm sending the others back up to you. They can describe the proceedings in detail.
I shall await their arrival. Anchor's Brun out. That is how these messages end, yes? If not, farewell.
The results of the experiment will be a career-ending embarrassment for Anchoress Brun. But she won't accept this lightly. We'll need to do more.
Yes, our next steps here will be crucial. I know this type of mission well. Granted, my targets were always meticulously well-researched beforehand.
You'll need to convince her, destroy her logic, end this research for good. All it requires is a forceful array of incisive argumentation, logical reasoning, coercive persuasion, and cognitive contortioning.
You mean one of our old brain-off maneuvers? Really? That's what the rank and file in our old department used to call it. Provost Bolding considered it a casual moniker unbefitting of an order scientician.
Make Brun give up on science, logic, and reason entirely. Then no one will ever dare continue the research again. Between you and Marisol, it should be a light challenge. Easy.
A brain-off against an Order anchorite isn't entirely without risk. We could employ certain other methods to deal with her. From our former department's playbook.
Oh, yes, a book you wrote titled Making an Execution Look Like an Accident. Despite the moral quandary ideally involved, unseen consequences still abound.
That's hyperbolic at best. Data suggests significantly fewer unpredicted outcomes than outright murder, if properly executed. And I'm quite capable of skewing results in our favor.
And here I thought you'd begun to change. Let's hear it. Seems reasonable. Appreciate you listening. Murder shouldn't be our first option here. Too many drawbacks, both mathematically and ethically.
Honestly, I'm relieved as well. I have been trying to be different. From the person others believe me to be.
From the legend? If you're retiring as the endpoint, we'll need to find you a colorful new sobriquet. Typical argumentation may prove useless, and she'll likely see through most attempts at deception. Be clever, unpredictable, surprise her. But in the event you should fail, you'll need a viable backup plan, or it will erase any chance of success completely. The Anchorus is housed in a test chamber similar to this one. It's been refurbished with some rather tacky furniture, but much of the old experimental apparatus remains. There is a hatch near the elevator upstairs. An external ledge leads to a vent system that can connect the two chambers. Doing so will expose the Anchorus to a lethal atmosphere. I'll need to make an announcement afterward that an accident has occurred tied into the experiment.
For an extemporaneous plan, it's not a bad one. What if the Anchorus realizes what we're doing and calls for help?
I'll cut off her comms when she begins pleading. Oh, that sounds even more heartless when I say it out loud. Please choose wisely. Here's the hatch key in case you need it. May all your endeavors elicit expected results. And Marisol, do keep out of trouble. Fellow scholars of the Order, a tragic accident has occurred. During our recent experiment in Test Chamber Beta, we failed to recognize that ventilation systems had been left connected to Test Chamber Alpha. As you know, it had been recently refurbished as an enclosure for Anchorus Brun. She gave her life for science. Well, it's true that we found the related research to take flawed, but she gave her life for the pursuit of science. As the
I understand now why they say never meet your heroes, Intercessor Delgado. You've truly been an enormous disappointment. A key experiment fails and Anchorus Brun falls prey to an unfortunate accident right after you and your consort arrive. And we are all to believe these events are unrelated?
That's circumstantial and more than a mite bit paranoid. I expect better from an Order scientician. Even one from the Department of Applied Scientism.
Don't think I don't see your handprints all over this, Delgado.
According to my field calculations, we are well past the point where we need to be delicate here. In fact, I strongly suggest we wipe the floor with these ill-notioned traitors, starting with this one, the arrogant know-nothing who led Anchorus Brun astray.
This slapdash pretense is over. I knew it!
I'll handle this. Vitals are in the red, Commander.
Taking cover.
Adversary vulnerability. Try to limit further damage, Commander. Patience. Still in charge. Ready to... Batten scan. Go for torpification. the anomalies have a fix on their weaknesses. You've suffered extensive damage, Commander.
Troublemaker approaching.
A random occurrence.
Check your scopes for combatant analysis. Combatant scan. Adversary vulnerability. Check your scope for combatant analysis. I have a fix on their weaknesses.
Give the order, and I'll take care of him, Commander.
Done what?
Got a distraction for over here. 3 holes ahead.
Target analyzed. Lay down fire. Combatant scan.
Grenade outbound!
Adversary vulnerabilities identified.
Levels untenable!
Got my lamps on an unfront.
Grenade outbound! Obviating.
didn't even try. I shouldn't be disappointed, but I've been thinking about who you could be, and forgot who you are. Always think you know better, don't you? I'd hoped you'd grown, become brave enough to face yourself before it mattered most. But no.
The credit or blame belongs to the commander here. It was their decision, ultimately.
Right. Them you'll listen to, apparently. Look, this may have worked out fine. I'll need to run the numbers a few times. If it did, thank you. Millions of people you'll never meet won't know how close they came to dying. If not, I guess the stakes weren't high enough you'd even once follow my lead. So hope we didn't just cock up everything. Oh. Before I forget. Here. Something to remember me by, I suppose. You'll never see me again.
Thank you. Anais? Goodbye. Oh, not really. Not right now, at any rate. Truth to tell, it felt like I'd been on a different path, but... well, I don't think Anais agrees. Thank you for asking, dear.
If this is a relationship you care to salvage, you oughtn't give up. Who knows? She might surprise you with understanding one day.
Commander, it's customary to evaluate results. I've had some time to cogitate over what occurred at Point Obviation. Some parts don't sit right with me still. Wonder if you and I might talk it through. A bit, yes. With the work I used to do, I'm no stranger to guilt and regret. Midway into my requisite sleep cycle is when it usually plagues me the most. You might believe Anchoress Brunn was a murderer, or potentially a herald to cataclysm. Still, she was helpless, and we killed her. And yet, such actions were par for the course for me in the past. When my remorse for Brunn rears its head, it will need to get in line. Well, I wouldn't bet against you there. Yes, Southworth was complicit. And now she's dead. Theoretically, no, not necessarily. In practice, with that motley group of scienticians, absolutely. Luckily, we halted the catastrophic ramifications. I hope so, at least. According to Anais, we could have reduced the likelihood of that occurring by completing the brain-off. It's not anywhere near zero, but it's unlikely. You were there. I'm sure you can imagine what might be going through my head. That is a reasonable understatement. When I first asked for your help, I envisioned we might speed up the solving of the equation, reinstate Anais in the Order, and more. So no, this is not how I envisioned events to culminate. In my endless internal calculations during my years drudging at the Zeranium manufactory, 0 results led to this. In sum, I believe we saved everything. The numbers are solid. It is probable the future will live. Anais will live. I will live. We all will. Howbeit separately. Appreciate you taking the time to talk it over, Commander.
Silent as a tomb. I hope we aren't too late. If Virgil's not about, he's like to be in the training grounds depths. There's a lift that will take us lower, located behind the door next to those stairs.
It's a relief to see a friendly face. Do come up.
Virgil! Oh, thank the architect I found you intact. We visited the Supreme Arbiter's office in Central Control and found something impossible.
Impossible? Why is it impossible? So that you may claim ignorance as to the truth of what you've uncovered? Fine. If you're still so thick-skulled, Tristan, then I can see I've no choice but to confess. Hold. Do you hear movement?
Attention, Arbiter Virgil Montag. Under the jurisdiction of the Council, we stand to bring you low. Do not resist.
Damnation. I knew the Sentinels were looking for me, but I did not expect they would come to this place. We have no choice but to fight. I can operate our turrets from this location, but you must engage the Sentinels head-on to prevent our being overwhelmed. Go now.
Arbiter Montag, lay down your arms. Surrender and die.
You have my thanks and my hammer.
Those fools were but an expeditionary force. I've no doubt the bulk of their number remains on the surface. I shall take an alternate path to prepare a surprise for our would-be assailants. Then I shall flank them as you engage them.
Hold. You were beginning to say something before we were ambushed. I would care to hear it.
We cannot have this conversation until we are safe. Engage those on the surface and I shall join you. Go now.
Those fools! Protectorate subjects should know better than to attack a Protectorate Arbiter. I had no choice but to judge them as traitors to the Protectorate. Why would they simply open fire? Why wouldn't they attempt to conversate? Once they saw myself, they should have disengaged, owing to my presence on official Arbiter business. Their sloppiness resulted in their deaths. The fault lies purely with them. I shall continue to answer slights of this nature through violence. But hopefully, I shall not need to do this more than a few times. My thanks and my help. Virgil, enough! Our being at odds with the Consul is one thing, but that was a small army! What have you done?
You already know whether you're willing to admit it or not. Do you sincerely have a need for me to spell it out before you'll face the truth? Very well then. Tristan? You stand before the murderer of the Supreme Arbiter.
I don't believe this. The Consul must have captured you and sent you to mental refreshment. It's the only...
Open your eyes, Rao. Those Sentinels were here with due cause. The elimination of a murderer. The Supreme Arbiter was planning to send a message in her final moments, pledging allegiance to the Consul. Who do you think bore witness to those final moments? I did what I thought was just.
No. You lied to me?
I had to. I knew that if you learned what had transpired, why I did what I did, it would destroy you.
Would it? Or were you just trying to save yourself from my wrath?
With the demands this war has made on us all, I'd not seen our mentor for some time. My visit was meant to be a surprise. Unfortunately, it was. I overheard her decision to align herself with the Consul before she realized I was there. This admission, I had no choice but to act.
But there was a choice. Why didn't you come to me? Together we could have come up with something. Some other course of action.
Because I didn't want you to know. I never wanted you to learn the truth because I feared you'd lose your faith. No. Sentinel Peralt's remarks were the first I'd heard of any secret room. I feared what you might learn there, so I scrambled to find an agent who might locate the room before you. I only had one contact who I knew may be able to do the job. Obviously, he did not succeed. I was pleased to learn that my decision did not result in his death, at the very least. That is news to me. A junior arbiter judging Tristan. I can't imagine you let that stand.
Killing one of Arcadia's future arbiters over a singular breach of rank would have been most tragic. But this is not the matter we're here to discuss. Discovering someone dear to be a traitor is painful. But we must act in the Protectorate's best interest. And bypassing the chain of command is a dangerous precedent. And lying to a fellow arbiter, beyond unacceptable. You're right. You're right. I can't let emotion get the better of me. This is not the first time we've encountered the paradoxical nature of Protectorate law. Each time we did, you convinced me to stay my hand, and I do not regret those I spared. Our prior conclusions inform my present feelings. I theoretically understand what Virgil did, for there was no proper decision he could make. But I cannot view this objectively. Virgil killed our mentor. It's madness. I cannot simply let that stand. Can I? You mistake my aim for one of vengeance. I still care deeply for Virgil. I do not blame him. But I must do what is just. Deciding on a borderline crime is a far cry from murdering a superior officer. The law is clear on this. It is explicitly illegal for an inferior to execute their superior. The issue must be accelerated to a higher authority. But is addressing traitorism not the utmost priority of any arbiter? Is not the betrayal of everything we stand for more significant than a breach of protocol? I wish to argue with you. With myself, with Virgil, with the Supreme Arbiter. This madness should never have come to pass. But it has. And I must contend with that. I cannot bring myself to execute my sworn brother. Oh, it would doubtless have been bloody. I cannot be certain who would have prevailed. I know not what to make of the Supreme Arbiter's betrayal. I'll have to ruminate on it for some time. But that aside, I forgive you, Virgil. You are spared.
I don't know what to say. I just wish there had been some other option. Morbid, yet I can hardly blame you. I have seen and personally wrought such brutality firsthand. 1,000 words of thanks for meeting me here, Tristan. I know not what the future holds for us, but for the time being I must make myself scarce. Though, before I go, a parting gift. May Tristan make use of it better than I.
Go with the Sovereign's blessing, brother. And be careful. If you survive today only to be brought low by an agent of the Council at a later point, I shall be most annoyed. Commander, this has all been draining. I need time to process what we've learned today. What I've done. Later, I hope we might discuss it.
Arbiter Nebs, the words are a song to my ears. This, no doubt, is the opportunity I have long awaited. These hapless recruits arrived just before the invasion. No sooner had they set down their bags than their instructors were called to the warfront. I read the fear, the uncertainty in their faces. And I knew, as this outpost's primary practice target replacement technician, I alone could teach them. They see me as their leader, their arbiter. I will not fail. Should the invasion breach our defenses, I will stand proudly at the vanguard, shoot to kill, and lead them to victory.
Commander, I've had some time to process what transpired with Virgil. Despite the manner of what Virgil has done, I cannot help but be glad I did not need to slay him. I can only hope he does not run afoul of further Sentinels. I still have much doubt about my path, but I don't believe Protectorate law is as ironclad as I once thought. Having good intentions does not spare you. Doing what you think is right does not spare you. This cannot be justice. Yet what can I do? More than 100 years of Protectorate society cannot be changed by a lone body. Can it? But how? I see. I must follow my own path, my own sense of right and wrong. I can only hope it has been cultivated properly. I shall remain with the Protectorate, interpreting its laws through a moral instead of a punitive lens. Innocent until proven guilty is a novel concept, but it is worth a try. Words are not worth the air propelling them. Let me make good on them first. Then you may be impressed. When we began traveling together, I was not sure what to make of you. But your input throughout our time together has been invaluable. I deeply appreciate your hand in this investigation, Commander, and in entertaining my incertitude. Let us move forth to free Arcadia from injustice.
You're about to enter territory controlled by Anth's choice. Act accordingly, or you'll end up as close friends with the inside of the Raptidon.
You know, I reckon half the corpses in here end up as Raptidon chow. Yes, and I spent some time with the Raptidon.
a new face. Any chance you've brung news from the commander? Can't restart the dig without his permission. And clock's ticking on my getting that early completion bonus. Started getting peculiar vibrations as we hit the halfway point. Could be nothing, but I got this job because the last foreman ignored similar readings. It ended poorly for him. Thanks. You ask me, I definitely earned it. It's a puzzler, that's for sure. More likely than not, some kind of old protectorate infrastructure. Maybe sewage or a conveyor. Messy, but mostly harmless. Worst case, it's a Zeranium gas pipe, and further drilling will kill everyone here in seconds. It'd be hard to collect bits for making a tunnel with no workers to dig it first. Agreed. Wouldn't want to miss that juicy bonus. Not unless your lamps can see through solid rock and figure out what's on the far side. Goodbye, early completion bonus.
Seems the invaders seek to keep us out. And if they want us out,
Looks like we're
I
about to have
want
company
in.
of the unwanted kind.
Spare me your sales pitch.
Maintaining.
Loading on you!
Ready to assist with aid.
Rosemary, my injuries are not...
Scene treatment for bodily trauma simulated. Beneficent leader! Taking cover! Dispensing lightning. Through his...
You have my thanks and my help.
Protectorate personnel. Only beyond this point. Leave immediately. If you are not of the Protectorate, you are this unit's enemy. Preparing to unleash disproportionate amount of ammunition on unresponsive bystanders.
Taking punitive action!
Zero life forms detected in hangar.
Attention IRC staff. Please head inside for an important announcement from the console. Attendance is mandatory.
Earth Directorate agents are exempt from commands issued by non-director level entities.
I shall reduce them to a slurry!
an anomalous event. The interstitial hall in Exhibition Tower is off limits for the foreseeable future to any and all non-essential personnel. All requests to view the prototype rift anomaly modulator are hereby suspended for the time being. Please direct all further queries and study petitions to the lead researcher's office.
Subjects, listen well. Days ago, our beloved sovereign, in his infinite wisdom, submitted himself to mental refreshment to strengthen his resolve for the good of all. At his command, I, Emery Thoreau, now accept the responsibility of shepherding you through these dark times until our sovereign's blessed return. I shall not take this duty lightly, for I address you today not as the consul, nor even as your new leader, which I am, but as a simple man who wants nothing more than to defend his home and his neighbors. But I cannot do it alone.
All subjects prosper under the guidance of our...
Comparative analysis of the console's... console's speech to them. To that of other dictators suggest a high likelihood that a coup has occurred.
What? That's impossible. This must be some kind of ploy on the consul's behalf. I don't believe it.
With renewed together, we will finish our great sovereign's work and purge Arcadia of those who seek to harm us. We shall clench our victory and step into the prosperous future our matriarch promised.
miserable scum! To think he would stoop so low as to overthrow the Sovereign! I shall not rest until the Consul pays for his treachery, and Arcadia's rightful ruler is reinstated. Were they still the Protectorate, such would be a traitorous aim to entertain. But a Protectorate led by the Consul is no Protectorate at all. I fear how my fellow subjects will respond to this news. I believe that most will remain loyal to the Sovereign, but I will need to deal with those who strayed. I hope that is true, though I do appreciate the vote of confidence. I sincerely doubt this is the end of my thoughts related to the matter, but we've wasted enough time with my ruminating. Let us be off.
What?
Be something here.
Right. We can't be expected to sleep in these conditions.
Better than bivouacking on course.
Arbiter, I know I do not have leave to access these security files, but I can assure you, my intentions are in service to the Protectorate.
At ease, subject. I've no business with you.
Then, does your arrival have something to do with the commotion I heard just now? Are we under attack by the enemy? Looking for proof. There was an incident recently, and I believe our head of security is neglecting his duty to investigate. So it is my duty to report him.
Of course. Tell me of these security lapses.
Albin Valancourt is the sentinel charged with supervising this facility and all its researchers. Unfortunately, he's a punitive man who delights in the wretchedness of others. I recommend he be replaced, until such time as his behavior has received proper scrutiny and subsequent correction.
I remind you that I am in no way beholden to your recommendations, subject. Whether or not your compatriot receives correction is up to my discretion alone.
Oh, of course. Should you require further data points for your assessment, however, I would most dutifully provide them, including my version of the recent incident. Unless your lamps have oxidized, you must have noticed my arm. I lost it saving the Sovereign from a rift experiment gone wrong. An experiment I was in charge of, naturally. Valancourt supplied my name for the reports, incriminating me in the eyes of my colleagues. And since he's closed off that wing of the lab, I can't prove my innocence. Oh, I understand now. This is a security assessment, hence the presence of an arbiter. I can certainly help expose the facility's failure points for you. In exchange, I hope you will assist me in delving into the cause of the rift incident. We'll just need Valancourt's keycard to access the restricted wing.
Regardless of our new state of affairs, anything that threatened the Sovereign's safety must be thoroughly investigated. Even this Valancourt should see that.
I cannot assist in acquisition, but once you take the prototype, it will trigger an immediate lockdown. I can facilitate your exit from the facility should you face any difficulties from Valancourt. After we conclude our investigation, of course. That modulator will be necessary to unfold the rift and find the evidence I need. The kind that proves I did not dishonor myself by making a mistake, and that the cause of the disaster was due to someone else's malfeasance, deliberate or otherwise. The prototype rift modulator is currently in Interstitial Hall at the top of Exhibition Tower. There's a lift in the next room over that can take you directly there. Once you have the prototype, make your way to Valancourt's quarters. He should have a spare key card that will grant us access to the restricted wing. I'll monitor your progress from here. Be cautious. The guards of this facility will attack anyone unfamiliar to them. But once you have the key card and rift device, reconvene here, and we'll go together to the wing. That is what we've agreed upon, is it not?
Seems suspect to me. Anybody see him? We'll find him. Sure as is.
Prototype rift anomaly modulator located.
Quickly, use the modulator to open the rift. It may provide your only avenue for escape.
To the unsubtle thief. Yes, you with the rift modulator. It's not every day that someone is fool enough to break into the Interstitial Reconfiguration Center. Aided and abetted by one of our very own arbiters, no less. I'd be obliged if you would regale me with the tale of how you managed to get this far. A crude assessment and utterly untrue. I am perfectly accommodating to non-incompetence. I suspect you did not reach here unaided. So who was it? Which one of my undutiful brain boxes helped sponsor this little pilferage? Act glib if you like. All you've done is illustrate the need for more invasive auditing of my personnel. I'll be sure to inform them of your role in that unpleasantness. Well, there will be time to scrutinize every angle of this breach at a later date, once I have dealt with you. Does such bravado normally advance your agenda? So be it. We can forgo civilities. I will await you in the hangar. There, bullets may fly more freely than words.
I've eyes on a miscreant.
The console provides, the system abides. You there! State your business.
None shall stand against us! Assist me, will you?
Sensibly, I must reload. Taking cover. Sustain the system.
Resuming hostilities.
Hey there. Much ado about nothing. Help you?
I shall not stay your execution.
Go
As of this morning's demonstration, we have finally proven my central thesis. Matter within the rifts is not permanently destroyed. Broken down into pure information. This confirms many of our theories about the rift to an overwhelming degree, including the potential to restore this information, albeit...
Disruptive.
No.
No, that's only for celebrating the downfall of our enemies.
See, remember that time the Sovereign caught us comparing pitchball cards? He was so excited about you having that vintage foil of his
Miranda would have been 17 today. I can scarce imagine her. My little son. Nearly a woman grown. Will she recognize her father, I wonder? After all he has done to bring her back, will she gaze upon him with pride? Happiest of returns, Miranda. I trust this year to be the last one we share apart.
Sovereign's own quarters. I am in awe. Any detritus you may see is most assuredly part of his great plans.
Don't be reluctant to unfold any rifts you come across using the modulator. They may each
project something useful to you.
Mediating! Lethal!
Agent's health gains.
An addiction.
This office is more immaculate than my quarters. I have found that the tidiest spaces often belie filth-sodden deeds.
Family's wise counselor for more years than I have drawn breath, Emery. But that does not grant you the right to challenge my will.
Why, I challenge nothing. I simply offer guidance where I may. I've neither the wish nor the strength to usurp your authority.
I know you have designs on my rift research. What I cannot understand is what you intend to do with it. What exactly are you plotting?
Suspicion is unbecoming, Henry. And restoring Arcadia to resplendence is my sole aim, as it should be yours. Yet you remain intent to use the rift for the most tenuous of means.
Having that device nabbed on his watch nigh guarantees Valancourt a long stay and mental refreshment, if he is not subjected to swift and fitting arbitration first.
Should he ever amass the courage to confront me in the flesh, I shall deal with him as I see fit.
Of course. An arbiter's judgment is always sound. Matriarch's blessings on you. Let's not waste time then. I'll lead us to the restricted wing now. Once there, reopen the rift using the modulator, so we can begin searching for clues. There's the sorry excuse of interdimensional rifts reconstitute matter in an imprecise manner. But use your imagination. To conjure the original scene that could lead us to the evidence we need. You've discovered something? How did this go unnoticed during final checks? This is surely why the rift destabilized on us. Did you uncover anything else? I knew it! I am absolved. And yet, I cannot possibly imagine what would have possessed him to deliberately endanger the Sovereign's life. It's unconscionable. I would characterize Valancourt as many vile and unmentionable things, but a traitor? No. A man cannot defecate without humming a Protectorate anthem. For all the time I've spent trying to unsnarl Valancourt's mercurial behavior, it seems there was yet more I did not know about him. I think I'm beginning to understand exactly what happened here. But if you have any additional points of data, please share them. I think I can formulate my own conclusion from here. Our dear head of security has much to answer for. We need to go and confront Valancourt, now. I'm no longer willing to wait for the arc of justice to bend in my favor. Valancourt needs to die for what he's done. if I distract him. Can I count on you to do the rest? The kind that buys you time to do what you need to. If we can find a way to isolate Valancourt from his forces, he will be much easier to deal with. I'll go first. Follow behind, but not too closely. We don't want him to see you. I'll keep Valancourt talking so that you can get a good angle on him. But his patience isn't limitless, so be swift. Attack when ready. No need to wait for a signal from me. Oh, and there's also a rift in the hangar. An experimental byproduct, as it were. I would avoid interacting with it, lest you alert Valancourt to our ploy.
Dr. Hurley, pleasant as I find your company, I must ask you to vacate the area at once. I'm preparing our defenses against an intruder.
Hold the pleasantries, Valancourt. I know you sabotaged the experiment that nearly killed me and the Southern.
I shall reduce them to a scurry! You deny me this fight long enough. God, see to this intruder with extreme prejudice.
Potential combatant in the vicinity.
Thus always to traitors. Morale will certainly improve in the lab now, I should think, provided Valancourt's replacement is not also an absolute pilgarlic.
If Valancourt's replacement is anything other than routinely amiable, I shall return and bludgeon them within an inch of their life. Mark my words.
I had prepared this trauma kit, but obviously that turned out to be an unnecessary precaution. Please, take it with my gratitude. Have no fear. No evidence of our little collaboration will survive. I'll see to it.
Now that you have the rift modulator, any previously inaccessible rifts could be worth revisiting. Rifts may contain useful equipment and resources. However, due to the chaotic nature of reconstitution, some creative problem solving may be required in reaching them.